So how about another
Yeah.
Shockwave song? I know you got tons of them up. You want to
Let's
do one with Eric?
Well, yes, he is the singer on the other ones.
Okay.
Do you have Love Doll?
Love Doll, yes, and that's the.
That's a song Fran Bryant and I wrote that song.
Oh yeah, good old Fran. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I can see Fran
Yeah.
writing that song too.
And I'll tell you, after sometime, after the song plays, I'll bring you up to speed on what he and I are doing these days.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, go ahead, play Love Doll, and that's with Eric on vocals, Eric Kaminsky,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a song Fran and I wrote.
Okay, Love Doll by Shockwave.
Wendy, don't go, don't leave me alone. You mean so much to me. You're the perfect lover and you never complain. You don't cost much to feed. You're so lifelike, you feel so real. I love your plastic skin. You're my girl for sure, but that's okay. You always let me in, 'cause you're my love doll. You always please me, you're my love doll. Don't ever leave me, you're my love doll. Don't ever tease me, you're my love. Well, who's always there to patch you up when you're losing air? And who buys your nighties when you're out of money? Honey, you know I'll always be there, yeah. Wendy, don't talk too loud. I think my friends are here. I'll hide you away in the closet, my love. I'd hate to have them see you. You're my love doll. You always please me. You're my love doll. Won't ever leave me. You're my love doll. Don't ever tease me. You're my love. Baby, 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 my love doll. You're my love doll. You always please me. You're my love doll. Don't ever leave me. You're my love doll. Don't ever tease me. You're my love. You're my love doll. You always please me. You're my love doll. Don't ever leave me. You're my love doll. Don't ever tease me. You're my love. You're my love doll. You always please me. You're my love doll. Don't ever leave me. You're my love doll. Don't ever tease me. I'm gonna blow you up, baby.
I remember that one well, and you know what? I really think that's Bob on bass. You know,
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
that is a Bob Trotta bass line if I ever heard one. I tell you, that's my opinion. I could be wrong. Then again, I wasn't
I
there.
think you're right. I think you are right on that.
Yeah, but that just sounds like something Bob would do. You know, I mean, and that's a good thing. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he was just a master. He was absolutely a monster bass player, and just knew. And you know, he's still awesome too. He's still
Yes.
awesome.
Yes.
You never lose that or anything. You know. So tell us about Love Doll. I mean, you said you had a story behind Love Doll.
Well, not much. Not well. Well, yeah, there is a little bit of a story behind it. I forgot about that for a bit.
Who had it?
Yeah.
Whose was
I
it?
don't know. I don't know of any. I don't know of anybody. At least nobody admitted to having a love doll.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I wrote the music, the guitar music to that,
Okay.
And Fran wrote 99.99% of the lyrics. There were like a couple word suggestions I made, inconsequential word changes, but he effectively wrote the words and the melody of it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah, and again, Fran, I reconnected with him. I used to see him around years ago in the '80s, and he was actually in a class that I was teaching. He was in the construction field for a while, and I kind of reconnected with him. And then actually, he was in a band called Alton Street a number of years ago.
Yes.
And the guitar player had a sister. I was dating the guitar player's sister at the time, and I was like, "Oh, there's Fran. No kidding. There he is." And so I've kind of connected and reconnected with him several times in life, and I've always liked great guy.
Yep. Lean on him. See if you can break him and find out if he's had a love dial.
Okay, I will.
He would never. He never told me he did. He never would admit that.
Yeah.
But maybe he just needs a little more leaning on, so to speak.
Yeah, maybe so. Well, it seems. I mean, doesn't this seem to you like whoever wrote that knew way more about that than the average person?
Indeed. But the story, a little side story about that song.
Mm-hmm.
I had a cousin, not Danny. This is a different cousin, who unfortunately he has also passed. But I say also, not meaning Danny. Danny's still with us.
Yeah.
But in reference to talking about other people I've played with that have passed. Anyway, he was into the road management aspect of the music business, and he did everything from rock shows, gospel shows, ice shows. That was his thing. He handled the logistics, and he thought that song had commercial potential, and he had submitted it to some people that he knew in the record business, and it had gotten pretty high up. He said it was kind of a toss-up between that one, this band that was considering doing it. I won't mention them by name, but they were a very, very successful. If I mention a name, you would positively know it. Big hair band in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, they according to him, they were considering doing that song. They were considering doing a version of that song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it had gone through different levels of review, and then somebody would say, "Yeah, okay, it sounds good. Pass it up a little higher." And then anyway, that the band had actually considered covering that, which would have been great if they did. But they ended up selecting some other song, which I don't even know what song that is they selected.
Oh, wonderful. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something, to have somebody cover your song like that, to get, some songwriting credit and everything. And
yeah. And that's what I really would like to do at this point. I would like to have the stuff published by somebody else.
Sure.
Somebody else. An up-and-coming band that needs material. If you like something, play it. I would even say this. If somebody wanted to play the songs and try them out and see what kind of response they get.
Yeah.
Go ahead, play it.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
And
exactly. It's in the public realm. It's on it's on YouTube. I mean, if somebody does want to play it, let me know, guys. I'd be very happy if they did.
Okay.
The guy in Greece who put my song on YouTube, he wanted to know. He said, "Oh, is it okay that I did that? Are you okay with that?" And he was a little concerned because I don't think he ever expected the writer of the song would email him.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, I'm fine with it. I love it. Thanks for doing it." So yeah, I would encourage somebody to, if they're interested in playing it. Yes, I mean, let me know because I'd just like to know.
Right.
And then if you want to go any further with it, then we can start discussing that.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then too, it would be kind of interesting to hear maybe a new twist on some of it too.
Yeah. And of course, it would have that because somebody else is going to do their version of it anyway.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody would put in a different riff here or there, or maybe accents here or there, or something to kind of make it their own. But have like the general idea of the song and everything. I mean, it would be interesting to see that. And I could just imagine for you it would be interesting to see too.
Yeah. Do you have time to play another one? One of my other favorites.
I have all the time in the world for you, my friend.
Let's play a song called "Wars Within Our Hearts."
Wars Within Our Hearts. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Adam and I are doing the dual intro solo.
Right.
Then he plays the solo in the middle of the song, and you'll hear what sounds like a flute. I'm playing a keyboard part on that.
Okay.
To emulate a flute sound, and then there's different string sounds throughout the song that I'm playing those on a keyboard. It was recorded in New York.
Oh, okay. Monkey Hill.
Monkey Hill Studios in New York, which they no longer are around, but yes, that's where it was recorded. There's a different, the melody is the same from verse to verse, but the underlying guitar patterns change. So, and it starts off with an acoustic guitar. I'm playing the acoustic entry. Now, I know Dave Reedy played bass on that. We mentioned his name earlier. He was the bass player on that. Anyway, there's a lot of dynamics in the song, and the guy in Greece, he heard it. He listened to it after I put it on my channel. He thought the song sounded great. He was very, very fond of it. So it is different. It does have a lot of, starts off with acoustic guitar and twin guitar leads, and then what appears to be a flute sound. It is a flute sound, but it's played on a keyboard.
Right.
So anyway, it's got some nice changes in it.
Okay.
And the pattern during the guitar solo is different yet, but it's all cohesive. Even though it's all different, I think it's very cohesive anyway.
Wonderful. Well, let's give it a roll here. Wars Within Our Hearts, Shockwave.
I'm just stumbling in the dark, hoping that I find the door to a peace within the heart, to a place I've never known. Now that I've opened my eyes, things are not what they were. Well, do I have to sell my soul just to make it up again? The walls within our hearts that cut to the bone, walls within our hearts leave us standing here alone. Walls within our hearts, living without thought. Walls within our hearts, they're still tearing us apart. We've all been given our roles. I find mine harder to bear. A life that I can't resolve. There's just no answer out there. Walls within our hearts that cut to the bone. Walls within our hearts leave us standing here alone. Walls within our hearts, living without thought. Walls within our hearts, still tearing us apart.
very nice, Greg. I do like that. I remember that song too. I remember you
Yeah.
playing it out. I used to come check you out at the Rage and stuff whenever you were playing
Yeah.
around here, and and I think you also opened for a couple of national acts too at the time, didn't you? Back in those days.
We opened for I think it was Mannequin.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
Mannequin.
it was Mannequin. We opened for Mannequin up in Pennsylvania.
Sure. Okay.
We had an opportunity to open for a band called Babylon AD.
I remember Babylon AD. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We were booked.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to open for them. They were playing someplace in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys in the band, who I won't crucify him and mention his name,
Mm-hmm.
but one of the members in the band couldn't get off of work to do it.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah.
was the train wreck on that.
Okay.
So
yeah.
it didn't happen.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
those things, do happen from time to time, but it's, it sucks because it's a national act, and
Yeah.
it was an opportunity for you guys to
It was,
really get
yes.
seen by a lot of people and everything. And speaking of train wrecks, do you have any on-stage train wrecks or any other Spinal Tap moments or anything like that you've experienced over the years?
Well, I think pretty much most any band's entire career could be a Spinal Tap.
Yeah, exactly.
Really. We had, as any band would have, we had lots of interesting road stories, as they say, war stories.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them. As far as, and luckily, most of them are good stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have had a few. I have had a few train wrecks.
Mm-hmm.
I consider turning down an opening act spot with a national act to be a train wreck.
Yeah.
That's a train wreck of a decision. You talk about throwing the switch on the tracks the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
That qualifies.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had another near miss with someone in the band. Again, I won't out them over it. But now in the end they did come through and they showed up and played.
Yeah.
At the job in question.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you have to wonder, and it's moments like this
Mm-hmm.
that define how committed someone is to what they're doing.
Right.
The person, I can tell you who it wasn't. It wasn't Bob Knight.
Right.
Bob wouldn't have done anything.
Yeah.
But when opportunities like this present themselves, first of all, they're rare,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to have typically spent many years in learning your instrument, dealing with bands, coming together, breaking up, all the work and effort that gets put into it, and then an exceptional moment is presented to you,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody doesn't want to take it.
Right.
So, and you don't have enough time to replace them.
Sure.
So you miss the boat. You totally miss it.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's very disheartening. And there's a couple moments that come to my mind like that. One I mentioned was a touring offer we had way back in Silver Queen. A second episode was this one where we could have opened for Babylon AD.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way of knowing where events like that would have led.
Right. Exactly.
You can never know how that would have turned out.